The story of Chipstar begins in a quiet town. This town was called Meadowbrook. It was a place with green fields and friendly people. In this town lived a clever woman. Her name was Anya Sharma. Anya loved to create things. She especially loved making games for her family and friends. She believed games could bring people together. Games could make people think and laugh. This was her strong belief. She often spent her evenings thinking about new game ideas. Anya Sharma was not a famous game designer then. She was a local school teacher. She taught children how to read and write. But her real passion was inventing. She had a small workshop in her garage. This workshop was full of tools and interesting objects. She would collect buttons, pieces of wood, and colorful paper. She used these things to make her game ideas real. One day in 1978, a special idea came to her. This idea was about colorful chips and stacking them in a clever way. The idea for Chipstar came from watching children play. Anya saw them stacking building blocks. They tried to build the tallest towers. She also noticed how they loved collecting colorful things. She thought about a game that combined these simple joys, a game that was easy to learn, but also a game that was hard to master. It needed to be exciting. It needed strategy. She wanted players to think carefully about each move they made. This was the seed of Chipstar. Anya wanted Chipstar to be unique. She did not want it to be like other games. She imagined a game that used special weighted chips. The weight of the chips would be very important. Players would need to balance their stacks carefully. One wrong move could make a tower fall. This would add a lot of excitement. She also thought about different colors for the chips. Each color could have a special rule or value. This would make the game more deep and interesting for all players. Anya Sharma started to make her Chipstar idea real. Her first step was to create a prototype. A prototype is an early model of a game. She used simple materials for this first version. She found some old cardboard boxes in her garage. She carefully cut out many small circles from the cardboard. These circles were her first game chips. They were not perfect, some were a bit wobbly, but they were good enough to test her new game idea with others. She painted these cardboard chips by hand. She used bright colors like red, blue, yellow, and green. Painting each chip took a lot of time, but Anya was very patient. She wanted to see her game come to life. She also wrote down the first set of rules for Chipstar. The rules were simple at the beginning. Players would take turns stacking chips. The goal was to build the tallest stable tower or to achieve a certain pattern of colors in their stack. She tried different rules to see what was most fun. Anya asked her family to play the first Chipstar game. Her children were very excited. Her husband was also curious. They gathered around the kitchen table. They used the handmade cardboard chips. The game was a little clumsy at first. The cardboard chips sometimes bent, but soon everyone was laughing and having fun. They were thinking hard about where to place their next chip. Anya watched them play. She took many notes. She saw what worked well. She also saw what needed to be improved in her design. After many tests with cardboard, Anya knew she needed better chips. Cardboard was too light and not durable. She decided to try using wood. She bought some thin wooden dowels. She carefully sliced them into small discs. These wooden chips felt much better. They had more weight. They made a nice sound when stacked. She even experimented with different types of wood. Some woods were heavier than others. This gave her more ideas for the game rules. The wooden prototype was a big step forward for Chipstar. It felt more like a real game now. With her wooden Chipstar prototype, Anya felt more confident. She started to show the game to her friends and then to her neighbors in Meadowbrook. She would bring the game to local gatherings. People were always curious about the colorful wooden chips. They asked Anya how to play. Anya was happy to teach them. Soon, small groups of people were playing Chipstar in living rooms. They played in community halls too. Everyone who tried it seemed to enjoy the simple challenge. The game was easy to understand. Children could play it. Adults found it engaging too. The suspense of stacking chips was a big part of the fun. Sometimes a tall tower would wobble. Everyone would hold their breath. Then with a loud crash, it might fall. This always caused a lot of laughter, or sometimes groans from the player whose tower fell. Word began to spread through Meadowbrook. People started talking about Anya's amazing chip game. It was becoming a local sensation in their small town. Anya realized that she might have created something special. More and more people wanted to play Chipstar. Some even asked if they could buy a copy. At that time, Anya was making each set by hand. This took a lot of time and effort. She could not make enough sets for everyone who wanted one. She started to think about making the game properly. Maybe she could find a company to produce it. This was a big dream for a school teacher from a small town like Meadowbrook. The local newspaper in Meadowbrook heard about the game. A reporter came to Anya's house. The reporter interviewed Anya about Chip Star. He took pictures of her and her handmade game. A few days later, an article appeared in the newspaper. It was titled, "Meadowbrook Teacher Invents Exciting New Game." This article made even more people interested. Anya started receiving letters and phone calls. People from nearby towns wanted to know about Chip Star. The first spark of fame had ignited for the game. The newspaper article was a turning point for Chip Star. It brought Anya Sharma some much-needed attention. One person who read the article was a small toy manufacturer. His name was David Green. Mr. Green owned a small factory in a nearby city. His company made wooden toys and simple games. He was always looking for new and interesting products. He was intrigued by the description of Chip Star. He decided to contact Anya to learn more about her invention. This was a very important connection. Anya was thrilled when David Green called her. She invited him to Meadowbrook. She showed him her wooden Chip Star game. Mr. Green played the game with Anya and her family. He was very impressed. He liked the simple rules. He loved the strategic depth. He saw the potential for Chip Star to become a popular game. He offered Anya a deal. His company would produce and sell Chip Star. Anya would receive a share of the profits. This was a dream come true for Anya. She agreed to his offer. The first commercially produced Chip Star sets appeared in 1982. These chips were made of smooth, polished wood. They were painted in vibrant, consistent colors. The game came in a colorful box. The box had the pictures of families playing Chip Star. It looked very professional. David Green's company started selling Chip Star to toy stores. First they sold it in their own state, then they gradually expanded to other states. Sales were slow at first, but positive reviews from players helped a lot. People loved the unique gameplay. Toy stores started to recommend Chip Star to customers. Families bought it because it was a game everyone could play together. Schools bought it too. Teachers found it was good for teaching children about strategy and fine motor skills. Chip Star began to win awards at toy fairs. These awards helped to increase its visibility. More and more people across the nation started hearing about Chip Star. The game was slowly but surely growing its wings. It was ready to fly further than Meadowbrook. It was becoming a national hit. Section 5. Conquering Continents. Chip Star goes international. As Chip Star became more popular in its home country, David Green had bigger ideas. He thought Chip Star could be loved by people all over the world. The game did not rely on language. The rules were simple to explain with pictures. The joy of stacking chips was universal. So, in the mid-1980s, Mr. Green started to look for international partners. He attended international toy fairs in Germany and Japan. These fairs were important events for the game industry. He showed Chip Star to distributors from many different countries. The response from international distributors was very positive. Many were impressed by the game's elegant design. They also liked its broad appeal to all ages. Soon, deals were made to produce Chip Star in Europe, then in Asia, and later in South America and Australia. Each country often had its own version of the box art. Sometimes the chip colors were slightly different to suit local tastes, but the core game remained the same. The fun of stacking and strategizing was the same everywhere. Chip Star was starting its journey to conquer continents. One key to Chip Star's global success was its simplicity. People could learn to play it in just a few minutes. This made it easy for friends to teach new players. It could be played in homes, at parties, or even in cafes. The game also had a surprising amount of depth. Serious players found many strategies to explore. This gave the game a long life. People did not get bored of it quickly. They kept playing and discovering new ways to win. This word of mouth was powerful. By the early 1990s, Chip Star was a global phenomenon. Millions of sets had been sold worldwide. It was translated into over 20 languages. Children in Japan were stacking chips. Families in Germany were enjoying tense games. Friends in Brazil were competing to build the tallest towers. Anya Sharma, the quiet schoolteacher from Meadowbrook, was now an internationally recognized game designer. She sometimes traveled to different countries. She attended Chip Star events and met fans of her game. It was an amazing journey for her simple idea. Section 6. The global arena rise of Chipstar tournaments. With Chipstar's immense popularity, something new began to happen. Players started to organize their own competitions. At first, these were small, friendly tournaments. They were held in local game stores or community centers. Players wanted to test their skills against others. They wanted to see who was the best Chipstar stacker. These local events showed that there was a competitive side to the game. People took the strategy very seriously. They practiced a lot to improve their techniques. Seeing this growing interest, game distributors and fan clubs started to organize larger tournaments. These events became more formal. They had official rules and qualified judges. The prizes also became bigger. Winners could receive trophies, cash, or even trips to other competitions. National Chipstar Championships were established in many countries. These events attracted hundreds of skilled players. The best players from each region would compete. They wanted the honor of being their country's Chipstar champion. This was a very exciting development for the game. The biggest step was the creation of the Chipstar World Championship. The first one was held in 1995 and brought together the national champions from around the globe. This event was a huge celebration of the game. Players from different cultures met. They shared their love for Chipstar. The matches were intense. The skill on display was incredible. Players had developed amazing strategies. They could build very tall and complex towers. The World Championship became an annual event. It moved to a different host city each year, spreading the excitement. These tournaments helped to keep Chipstar popular for many years. They created a community of dedicated players. They also provided exciting content for fans to watch. Some top players became well-known figures in the gaming world. Their matches were analyzed and discussed by other enthusiasts. The tournaments showed that Chipstar was not just a simple family game. It was also a serious game of skill and strategy. This dual appeal was a big reason for its lasting success in the global arena. Section 7. Legends of the Stack. Famous players and moments. The Chipstar tournament scene created many memorable stars. These players were known for their skill, strategy, and sometimes their unique styles. One of the earliest legends was Kenji Tanaka from Japan. Kenji was famous for his incredibly steady hands. He could build towers that seemed to defy gravity. He won the first 2 Chipstar World Championships. Fans called him the Iron Stacker. His calm focus under pressure was an inspiration to many aspiring players. He always seemed to know the perfect chip placement. Another famous player was Maria Petrova from Russia. Maria was known for her aggressive and risky plays. She would often try to build very tall, unstable towers quickly. This strategy sometimes failed spectacularly, but when it worked, it was devastating for her opponents. She won the World Championship in 1998. Her exciting style of play made her a crowd favorite. People loved watching her matches because they were always unpredictable. She brought a lot of drama to the competitive scene of Chipstar. Her daring moves are still talked about. There were many unforgettable moments in Chipstar tournament history. One such moment happened at the 2003 World Championship final. The match was between a young newcomer, Sam Miller from the USA, and a veteran champion. Sam was one chip away from winning, but his tower was very wobbly. The crowd was completely silent. Sam took a deep breath. He slowly placed the final chip. The tower stood firm. The crowd erupted in cheers. Sam became the youngest ever Chipstar World Champion at that time. These players and moments became part of Chipstar's rich history. Books were written about famous strategies. Documentaries were made about the top players. Fans would collect trading cards featuring their favorite Chipstar champions. These legends helped to make the game more than just a product. They made it a cultural phenomenon. They showed the human side of the game. They demonstrated the dedication and passion that Chipstar could inspire in people from all walks of life and from every corner of the globe. Section 8. Behind the Chips secrets and surprising stories. Beyond the tournaments and sales figures, Chipstar has many interesting stories. One lesser-known fact is about the chip colors. Anya Sharma originally wanted the chips to be pastel colors. She thought soft pinks and blues would be calming. However, David Green, the manufacturer, insisted on bright primary colors. He believed bold colors would attract more children in toy stores. They had a long discussion about this. In the end, they compromised. They used bright colors, but with a special matte finish that Anya liked. This made the chips visually appealing and distinct. Another fun anecdote involves a very early batch of Chipstar games. In 1983, a small number of sets were accidentally made with magnetic chips. A mistake at the factory meant tiny metal filings got mixed into the plastic. These chips would slightly stick together. Some players who bought these sets thought it was a secret feature. They developed new strategies around the magnetic pull. The company quickly fixed the error, but these magnetic sets became rare collector's items. Today they are worth a lot of money among Chipstar enthusiasts. Anya Sharma, the creator, always remained humble despite her success. She continued to teach at her local school in Meadowbrook for many years. She used her earnings from Chipstar to support local community projects. She funded a new library wing and a children's park. She said that seeing children enjoy her game was her biggest reward. She also kept all the early prototypes of Chipstar. She sometimes displayed them at local museums. She wanted to show people that big ideas can come from simple beginnings and a lot of hard work. There's also a story about a group of scientists in Antarctica. They were stationed at a remote research base for a whole winter. One of their few forms of entertainment was a Chipstar game. They played it almost every night. They even created their own complex house rules and variations. They said Chipstar helped them to stay mentally sharp. It also helped them to bond as a team during the long, dark months. This shows how Chipstar could bring joy and connection even in the most isolated places on Earth. Section 9. Chipstar's enduring light, legacy and future. Chipstar has left a big mark on the world of gaming. It showed that a simple game could be very successful. It did not need complex electronics or flashy graphics. It just needed good design and fun gameplay. Many game designers have been inspired by Chipstar. They learned that elegance and accessibility are important. The game is often used as an example in game design courses. It teaches students about balancing luck and strategy, and about creating engaging physical interactions for players. Today, in 2025, Chipstar is still a beloved game. New generations of children are discovering it. Families continue to play it together. While new games come and go, Chipstar remains a classic. It is available in many different versions now. There are travel editions with smaller chips. There are deluxe editions with special wooden boxes. There is even a popular digital version. This digital game can be played on phones and computers. It allows people to play with friends who are far away. This has helped to keep the game relevant. Anya Sharma passed away peacefully in 2018. But her legacy lives on through Chipstar. Her game continues to bring joy to millions. The company that produces Chipstar still supports her values. They often donate games to schools and charities. They also help to organize community game events. The spirit of Anya's original vision is still alive. She wanted to create a game that brought people together, and Chipstar has certainly achieved that goal in a big way. It has connected people across ages and cultures. The future of Chipstar looks bright. The community of players is still active. Tournaments are still held, both online and in person. New strategies are still being discovered. There is talk of a Chipstar movie or an animated series. This could introduce the game to even more people. The simple act of stacking colorful chips continues to fascinate. It is a testament to good game design. Chipstar's light will likely shine for many more years to come.